Hello, from the Food Brigade. We'd like to address some misconceptions about the dates that appear on food products and what those dates actually mean. Rest assured that the Food Brigade will never knowingly distribute food that is unsafe or unfit for consumption. There are some times when we receive donated food from local supermarkets and wholesalers that is short dated, or when we have food that is beyond the date stamped on the product. And so we want to address any concerns about that. The following information we'll be sharing comes from the United States Department of Agriculture. Best if used by is a type of date you might find on a meat, poultry, or egg product label. Are dates required on these food products? Does it mean the product will be unsafe to use after that date? Here is some background information answering these and other questions about product dating. Question: what is food product dating? Two types of product dating may be shown on a product label. Open dating is a calendar date applied to a food product by the manufacturer or retailer. The calendar date tells consumers how long the product will be at its best quality. It also helps the store decide how long to show the product for sale. Closed dating is a code that consists of a series of letters and/or numbers applied by manufacturers to identify the date and time of production. Question: does federal law require food product dating? Except for infant formula, product dating is not required by federal regulations. For meat, poultry, and egg products under the jurisdiction of the Food Safety and Inspection Service, FSIS, dates may be voluntarily applied, provided they are labeled in a manner that is truthful, not misleading, and in compliance with FSIS regulations. To comply, a calendar date must express both the month and day of the month. In the case of shelf-stable and frozen products, the year must also be displayed. Additionally, immediately adjacent to the date must be a phrase explaining the meaning of that date, such as best if used by. Question: are dates for food safety or food quality? Manufacturers provide dating to help consumers and retailers decide when food is of best quality. Except for infant formula, dates are not an indicator of the product's safety and are not required by federal law. Question: how do manufacturers determine quality dates? Factors including the length of time and the temperature at which a food is held during distribution and offered for sale, the characteristics of the food, and the type of packaging will affect how long a product will be of optimum quality. Manufacturers and retailers will consider these factors when determining the date for which the product will be of best quality. For example, sausage formulated with certain ingredients used to preserve the quality of the product, or fresh beef packaged in a modified atmosphere packaging system that helps ensure that the product will stay fresh for as long as possible. These products will typically maintain product quality for a longer period of time because of how the products are formulated or packaged. The quality of perishable products may deteriorate after the date passes. However, such products should still be safe if handled properly. Consumers must evaluate the quality of the product prior to its consumption to determine if the product shows signs of spoilage. Question: what types of food are dated? Open dating is found on most foods including meat, poultry, egg, and dairy products. Closed or coded dates are a series of letters and/or numbers and typically appear on shelf-stable products such as cans and boxes of food. Question: what date labeling phrases are used? There are no uniform or universally accepted descriptions used on food labels for open dating in the United States. As a result, there are a wide variety of phrases used on labels to describe quality dates. Examples of commonly used phrases: a best if used by / before date indicates when a product will be of best flavor or quality. It is not a purchase or safety date. A sell by Date tells the store how long to display the product for sale for inventory management. It is not a safety date. A use-by date is the last date recommended for the use of the product while at peak quality. It's not a safety date except when used on infant formula as described below. A freeze-by date indicates when a product should be frozen to maintain peak quality. It is not a purchase or safety date. Question: are foods safe to eat after the date passes? Foods not exhibiting signs of spoilage should be wholesome and may be sold, purchased, donated, and consumed beyond the labeled best if used by date. With an exception of infant formula, if the date passes during home storage, a product should still be safe and wholesome if handled properly until the time spoilage is evident. Spoiled foods will develop an off odor, flavor, or texture due to naturally occurring spoilage bacteria. If a food has developed such spoilage characteristics, it should not be eaten. Question: how does date labeling impact food waste? Confusion over the meaning of dates applied to food products can result in consumers discarding wholesome food. To reduce food waste, it is important that consumers understand that the dates applied to food are for quality and not for safety. Food products are safe to consume past the date on the label, and regardless of the date, consumers should evaluate the quality of the food product prior to its consumption. If you have questions about food safety, call the USDA Meat and Poultry Hotline toll-free at 1-888-674-6854, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can also email questions to nphotline@usda.gov. Again, rest assured that the Food Brigade will never knowingly distribute food that is unsafe or unfit for consumption, although you may see items that are beyond the dates on their packaging. Thank you, and we're happy to serve you.